relationship between humans and animals over history has been an interesting one. They have been feared and worshipped as gods in many religions, harnessed as working animals, and domesticated. And they have been slaughtered for protection, food, and fun. They are great examples of humans living amongst animals peacefully, and animals in return giving us a great gift of friendship, knowledge, and a greater connection to the world around us. Then, of course, there is the converse. Examples of animals being used and abused. Today, we are going to talk of two such animals, their connection being that they were both lone, and both had significant roles to play in the history of New Zealand.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Scotland. I was thinking of Lassie, the sheepdog.
You're obsessed with Scotland, Aaron.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Before we start, Steph, I've got to apologise. At the end of last week's episode, I got caught up in pretending to moon you that I didn't actually give you a chance to give a clue for what was for your episode. But I suppose your intro sort of covers that, doesn't it?
The title of today's episode is The Lone Dolphins of New Zealand.
Oh,
Oh my
Dolphins.
goodness. That's not going to be a thing today, is it?
No, probably not. Oh, it depends. I might keep it going.
So what do you think today's episode might be about?
So, obviously I didn't give you a chance to give me a clue last week, but midweek you told me about what you were going to do. And you said, what did you just say? The Lone Dolphins of New Zealand?
Mm-hmm.
And I said something along the lines of they help guide ships or something like that. And that was like an educated guess. And I vaguely remember hearing something about this like ages and ages ago, but I can't be certain. Is that somewhere in the realms of...
Yeah, we're going to be hearing about that dolphin today, as well as one that I'd never heard of before.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, shall we get started?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we're going to start with the dolphin by the name of Jack. PELORUS Jack.
PELORUS Jack, I like it.
And I just learnt that PELORUS is a device that's used to navigate.
So it makes sense. So
you were right.
Is this like what I was talking about, that a dolphin that helps sailors to navigate or something? I thought I might be on the right track. Yeah.
There once was a dolphin who lived on the northern end of New Zealand's South Island. So they lived in the coastline of the name French Pass. This hazardous stretch of water was well known for dragging vessels to its doom.
French vessels?
Well,
It's called French Pass.
at one point, yes.
Were the French in New Zealand?
You'll
I
find
don't know
out.
if they were. Go on, sorry, go on.
Let's see. Often ships were dragged into the rocks. The fact that this pass was so narrow also made it especially dangerous.
They need a guide, someone who can take them through the waters.
And
Maybe someone who knows the waters really well. Sorry,
Maybe.
continue.
The first European ship to make it this journey was particularly perilous. This ship was captained by French Admiral Jules Dumont de Iville.
Great name, Dumont.
Who was mapping the coast of the South Island. So there were French people.
Oh, there you go. I
in
thought it
New
was like
Zealand.
Scottish and English and that.
Well, I think the French were involved too. That's how Canada sort of got.
Canada?
Yeah.
Are they involved in New Zealand as well?
No. They're involved with French.
Oh,
and
yeah. No, I knew that they were.
So the French were sort of
I knew that they like
doing the same thing as the English.
What's the word? I nearly said experimenting. They were exploring.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that, but I wasn't aware that they explored New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So this admiral, possibly not knowing the risks, he instructed his navigator to enter the stretch of water, as it saves a significant amount of distance. So the only other alternative is to go around the island, which is an extra 15 miles. So along they went. As we expect now, the ship swung sideways, and as it reached the most narrow part of the pass, the ship struck the rocks on the side and was stranded on the reef. After this, the captain proposed that no one should make the journey as it was too hazardous.
Oh, after the fact, like after they've crashed.
After he had to go.
I'm
like,
sensing a theme
nah.
with your other episode that you did on Hovell and Hume. If anyone hasn't seen that, listen to that, go back and listen to it. But Hovell was the main explorer, wasn't he? And he was ill-equipped to do the job, basically, that he was tasked with.
Hume was the main explorer. Hovell just sort of tagged along for the glory.
No, yeah, but he was the rich one.
He thought he was the best.
So he was the one that's like in a position of like power and like he's rich and stuff. And this bloke's probably the same. And he's, again, making horrible decisions and getting his people in trouble. That's a theme I'm getting from these episodes we're doing, that the people that are doing the exploration are ill-equipped for the job. I just thought I'd say that.
I think you just completely missed the opening of this little part. It is called the French Pass, and it is dangerous, Aaron.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I suppose you can't go exploring and not expect things to go wrong. How rude of me.
Don't insult my friend Dumont.
I'm just implying that I'd be an awesome explorer.
So humans being humans, the 15 miles was much too far for many sailors, and many did not heed the French captain's warning. Although the course was proven time and time...
Don't go into the passage. You will crash and die on the rocks.
You said accents wouldn't be coming back.
I'll do them whenever I feel like them, and that felt appropriate. Oh no, do not go down the pass.
Although the course was proven time and time again to be just as dangerous as reported, sailors still chose the course over going around the islands.
It's like, yeah, we could go 15 miles around. No, let's go through the French passage, but everyone crashes. No, we'll do it. We'll be right. We'll be fine. Crash.
She'll be fine.
Well, what about, should we tell the others? No. Just go straight through. Don't go around 15 miles. But I suppose, 15 miles in nautical terms back then?
Adds a lot.
It's not exactly in a tinny or a speedboat.
No.
So that's probably going to add quite a journey. Mm-hmm. But I suppose that's the risk you take, isn't it?
That's right.
Oh, sorry, I'll stop now.
So that brings us to more than 60 years later. The route was still being used, but one thing had changed. The appearance of a dolphin.
Oh. So hang on, 60 years later, what year are we talking?
I'll tell you.
Oh, sorry. How rude of me. Sorry, I thought you might have said the year and I just forgot. Not yet. 60 years later, people are still taking the same passage even though they know it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have to. They have to get their goods.
Yeah, but just...
My man's barking down there.
Plan ahead to go around the 15 miles around. Anyway.
Well, money speaks, Aaron.
Yeah, that's true.
And
time is of the essence.
Mm-hmm. This was not just any dolphin. This was a Risso's dolphin. Risso's dolphins are most prominent on the eastern tropical waters, and they typically travel in group sizes ranging from 10 to 50 plus. Cool. Certainly, it was an odd sight to see this type of dolphin in the New Zealand waters. The dolphin later, known as Jack, was first spotted in 1888.
1888, right,
yes,
okay.
So that's the time
So what was the dolphin called? I'm going to quickly look up.
Risso's dolphin.
Risso's dolphin?
Risso's.
Yum. Risso?
Risso's.
Risso's.
Risso.
Risso's dolphin. Risso's dolphin. Here we go. Oh, cool. They've got they're sort of more like a beluga whale, aren't they?
Yeah,
they've got a square head and stuff like that.
So it wasn't unheard of for them to be in New Zealand, but it was rare.
But it's sort of rarer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And especially for him to be by himself.
Yeah, if I saw that, I would class that more as a whale, but its body looks like a dolphin. But very cool.
Now, on that note, we do refer to Jack as a he, but that was never confirmed because no one could get close enough.
Misogynistic men just claiming it as a man.
So
what, a female dolphin couldn't navigate people?
So we are going to assume his gender.
I bet you a man made that decision too. It's definitely... his
surely
name's
in 1888, yes.
His name's Jack.
His name's Jack. So he was first spotted travelling in front of his ship as it was about to enter the French Pass. Now, of course, humans being humans, their initial thought was what, Aaron?
Like a mermaid or something stupid like that.
Oh
my God, it's a mermaid. Oh my God. I don't know.
No, it's more obvious now, I'll tell you.
Oh, like he's guiding us.
No,
he's showing us the passage.
Oh, you have too much faith. I need to destroy it in this episode. Yes, of course, the crew wanted to harpoon Jack.
Oh my God. See, my nature was like, oh, it's a beautiful animal. But like, I love animals. Most people do. Mm-hmm. But let's harpoon it. For what purpose would they harpoon this dolphin?
Who knows?
It has a square head. It looks different. Kill it.
Pretty much.
I'm not going to do that. I was going to say, I'm trying to take you through the passage.
No, you're not just doing impressions of like people. We've changed animals.
No, I was saying that's Jack, his point of view. He's like, I'll guide you through the passage, but in dolphin. And they're like harpooning him. I'm so sorry for that.
Luckily, on board the ship was the wife. The ship's captain's wife.
Oh.
Who obviously used her charm to talk the crew out of the idea.
She probably walked up and was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, pretty much.
And he's got the harpoon like loaded, aimed at it. I'm going to kill it. Why?
Literally, why?
Because that's what we do. Don't kill it. Let it go. Sorry, honey.
So Jack continued through the pass with the ship in tow for 12 hours and showed them the path that would lead them to safety.
And like everyone knows it, or most people know, I assume that dolphins are highly intelligent. So
Probably not back in those days. They
yeah,
probably
no,
didn't
not
study
back.
them
We know
enough.
that now with our modern brains that have developed, and we've learnt things, and we
Modern
don't harpoon
brains.
everything we see that's moving. But yeah, I'm not surprised that it was able to do that, and whether or not it was trying to guide them or not, we don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if a dolphin could do something like that,
Yeah.
because they're highly intelligent. So
They're very intelligent. So from this day onward, Jack continued to lead ships to safety through the French Pass.
oh, cool. So he just
Yeah.
like rocked up. And
Continued, yeah.
Boys, I'm out. Follow
Pretty
me.
much.
Sorry.
So Jack would return to the mouth of the pass and complete his journey, and he became so reliable that ships would not proceed without the guidance of Jack.
So they'd rock up at like the entrance or
They
whatever,
would
and they'd
literally
wait
try
for
and
him, and
spot
he'd
him.
rock up and like, go boys,
Yep,
let's go.
yep.
That's amazing. That's cool.
As the years passed, Jack became somewhat of a tourist attraction. People from all over the globe came to witness the dolphin that led ships to safety, and even a notable figure, being that of Mark Twain, the American writer, came to see him.
To write about him, or just to see?
Just to see him.
Just on holiday.
Yeah,
That's
just
cool.
on holidays.
I'm not sure if you've covered this yet, but was he always by himself, or did he have like
They don't
people
know.
with him?
They don't
Never
know.
stated.
No.
He was just a lone soldier.
Odd for a dolphin to
Yeah,
be
when you said
alone,
they-
but yeah, they don't know the reason.
Mixing 15 or 20.
Especially in those days, they probably wouldn't even question it.
And people have made the movie Free Willy. What about Jack?
There's-
French Past Jack, a movie?
I love it.
I'd watch that.
Of course, as with any smart and curious creature, Jack had his preferences. He would not swim with ships that had a wooden hull or sailing crafts. He instead preferred to travel with steel-hulled ships. Experts have suggested that this may be because he enjoyed the pressure waves generated by the ship's bow, and steel-hulled ships provided the best bow wave to ride on.
Well, so he's picky. He's like, your ship is not worthy.
Yep,
Away with you.
yep.
Bring me a steel ship.
I do not guide you.
Bring me a steel ship. I prefer the waves on a steel ship.
Now, as I had just mentioned before, PELORUS Jack had a big fan base, but all was not as innocent and as calm as it may have first seemed.
No, and people are going to try and harpoon him. The fame got to his head and he's like, he's too big. We're going to take him out now for real.
In 1904, a drunken passenger aboard the SS Penguin acquired a gun and shot Jack.
What?
Yes.
Why?
Who knows,
What is
Aaron?
wrong with human
This
beings?
is what I'm trying to get at. This is our legacy as humans.
So the first time he's spotted in the water, which is where dolphins live, let's harpoon him for no purpose. A drunk guy just gets a gun, I'm going to shoot.
Yep.
At least with the drunk guy, I can sort of maybe see that maybe he wanted a bit of fame from killing the dolphin.
I'm pretty sure that's probably the reason. Which is not a
Human
good
beings
enough reason.
suck. They suck so much.
It is said that when the crew saw Jack with blood pouring out of him, they'd wanted to lynch him then and there. The man.
They should have chucked him in the water and let the dolphins deal with him.
However, he was arrested instead.
Boo.
At the time, though, there was no law in place to protect Jack or any dolphin, in fact, and the man was released.
What?
Yep.
Hey, don't do that again. Okay.
However, this did prompt legal action to protect Jack and made it illegal to harm him in any way. And it also extended to any other dolphin in the area.
Yeah, Jack
So-
was like, hey, me and my people. You're going to protect me and my people, not just me. He's a man of the people, or man of the dolphin.
I love this next bit. It's very, very cool because
Yeah.
it shows you how clever he is
Yeah.
and how clever most
Sorry,
dolphins
before you
will
go
be.
on, he obviously survives.
He does
from the-
survive, yes.
And they got the bullet out of him or whatever.
Well, probably not.
Or maybe he's just so
I don't think they
he's
would
so
have been able to
badass
save
he
him.
just survived.
I think
the
he
bullet.
just survived. So it is said that after this account, Jack continued to lead ships to safety, but he would never again accompany the SS Penguin.
Oh, so like that ship continued going through there.
Yeah.
And it obviously recognised, well, I don't like that ship.
Yeah.
How good is the penguin though? Penguin.
penguin.
Amazing. Had a penguin sidekick. How amazing is it that the dolphin, it got shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be reasonable to think that Jack would then no longer guide ships because he's like, well, they shot me. But he's smart enough to know, well, it was that particular ship.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to avoid that ship, but I'll still help the others. What an awesome animal.
But I
Let's
also
harpoon
wonder
it.
if maybe he was a bit lonely
Yeah.
and
Let's
like
harpoon
the ships
it.
were his friend.
Yeah, let's harpoon it for some reason.
In 1909, 5 years after this event, you'll like this bit. The SS Penguin, actually no, you won't like this bit. This is horrible. I'm sorry.
Oh God, what
no
have
one
you done?
should like this bit. The SS Penguin struck rocks and sunk.
Yeah.
However, the bit you shouldn't like is 75 passengers died in this disaster, and it is known as New Zealand's worst maritime disaster of the 20th century.
Jack's revenge. Even though no one else, the 75 people were most likely not involved in that drunken man shooting. It would have been justified if maybe that drunken guy was on there or something, or like, but yeah, there's no winners in that, is there?
No, there's not. At first, when I started researching, I was like, oh, justice. But then I realised the same thing as you. I was like, yeah, none of those people on that ship deserve that.
Well, it would have been good if you could go back and be like, manslaughter and find that drunk guy. You hurt this dolphin that guides ships through this dangerous passage. It no longer guides the SS Penguin or whatever it is.
That's going into a whole legal
wormhole
here.
So this ship has crashed and 75 people have died because of your actions, manslaughter. And he goes away and he finally gets justice served. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
In my mind anyway.
So Jack continued to guide other ships and was rarely not seen in this area. Here is an account of Jack from a reporter of the time. For the last 20 years, no steamer has been known to pass this sound accompanied, for at least part of the way, by a large white fish, part shark, part dolphin, called PELORUS Jack. He is first noticed leaping out of the sea in the distance, but in a few moments is swimming through the water just in front of the ship's stem. Sometimes he remains for only a few moments, leaping out of the water and swimming just ahead, then he shoots away out of sight. But at other times he stays for quite 10 minutes. He is said never to come to sailing ships or wooden bottom steamers, but no matter which way a steamer crosses the sound, whether by day or night, PELORUS Jack is always in attendance as a sort of pilot.
And he hates those who drink.
And he hates those who drink.
Yeah. I was just looking it up now while you were saying that. It's more commonly known as the monk dolphin. So you probably could have referred to that throughout, but...
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that's an interesting fact. It's called that.
So the last sighting of Jack was in 1912. After this, rumours swirled that he'd been struck by a harpoon from a Norwegian whaling ship.
Of course.
Or he was struck by another ship. A more likely option is that he simply died of old age. Yeah, he was reported that in his later years, ships would be required to slow down so that he could keep up with them. And it was estimated he was between 25 and 30 years old.
That's pretty old. I was just trying to look that up then, how long they live. That's a pretty good lifespan. Mm-hmm. But how nice is that the ships, they recognise that he's guiding them through dangerous waters, so we'll slow down for him and let him keep up. Oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
PELORUS
Jack is immortalised in many things. He was the basis for the mascot of an ocean liner at the time. He has been featured on chocolate in New Zealand. There is even a Scottish dance created about him, among other references. Through his life, Jack was alone.
Oh. So he's like, you think it was like he was trying to find people because...
I don't know. Don't really know.
Maybe he had a pod. I don't know. It's a bit sad, but it's a good story. That's cool.
Not the only story of a lone dolphin in New Zealand. So let's hear about another one. To hear about this next one, we must now travel to the 1950s.
Okay, so a bit more modern.
Mm-hmm. OPO is our other dolphin's name. OPO was a female bottlenose dolphin and was first spotted in 1955 with her pod of 2 other dolphins. So she didn't start off alone.
So yeah, she had a gang.
Yeah. They were first encountered by local fishermen on the
Harpoon her! Harpoon her!
On the west coast of the Northland District on North Island. So still in New Zealand. At first, local fishermen were worried that about their dorsal fins and thought they were sharks, but soon discovered that they were seeing a pod of 3 dolphins who travelled through the waves.
And still decided to harpoon her.
Have a little bit more faith.
Because they're humans and they're horrible.
Okay, so I guess by the 50s, you're not going to shoot everything in sight, but...
No, I'm pretty sure...
It is still a different time.
In the 1950s, I'm not an expert on fishery or anything like that. I'm pretty sure there was no rules or regulations on fishing of any creature.
Well, funnily enough, the laws that they created about PELORUS Jack actually stuck to this dolphin here, which is nice. So, yeah, they couldn't be shot on sight. After a week of encountering these dolphins, the fishermen noticed that they were only able to make out one fin. Most likely, the other dolphins were killed.
Aww.
It became apparent after some time that this lone female was only a 1-year-old and was now motherless.
Oh, sad.
After some time, she started tagging along with the boats leaving the harbour, but seemed hesitant to cross the waves of the harbour that led to the open sea. So she was never able to...
So she just stayed in the harbour, pretty much made that like her little home.
Yep. Fishermen of the area looked forward to seeing Oppo on their travels to the open sea, and as she got more accustomed to this boat, she started coming closer and closer. Many fishermen were even able to place their oars in the water, with Oppo rubbing up against them. Oppo took opportunities to swim closer and closer to shore, accompanying the boats all the way from the wharf to the mouth of the harbour.
I was just thinking then, I know about orca whales that within their pod they sort of have their own language or something like that. So that means you can't just put an orca in with another group of orcas.
I thought you would tell me this horrible story.
No, I'm just thinking, there's that one that they released off the coast of Finland or something like that to try and set it free, and it ended up just coming close to humans. But the point I was trying to make is that maybe that dolphins are the same. They have like a unique language within their family or something like that. So they can't just go and join another group of dolphins. But hey,
I'm not too sure.
On? Yeah,
it'd be interesting
look into that. Yeah.
But I thought you were going to tell me about that story of the whale who can't communicate with any other whale.
Oh, the giant albino whale.
Oh,
yeah, that's
so
a sad story.
Let's not talk of this.
Let's stick to dolphins and harpooning them and stuff.
So as the summer drew in and the waters became warmer, this drew people to the lazy retirement village by the coast, which is sort of where this story takes place. This also brought with them swimmers, and as swimmers flocked in, Oppo's confidence grew. Over the summer, Oppo came closer and closer to the swimmers and began to swim and play amongst them. Out of all the swimmers, Oppo took a particular interest to a 13-year-old girl named Jill Baker. Jill retold her story by stating, "I think why the dolphin became so friendly with me was because I was always gentle with her and never rushed at her as so many bathers did. No matter how many in the water playing with her, as soon as I went for a swim, she could leave all the others and go off side by side with me. On several occasions, when I was standing in the water with my legs apart, she would go between them and pick me up, carrying me a short distance before dropping me again." How awesome of a childhood memory.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's like, what pets did you have growing up? I had a cat, I had a dog, a dolphin. Mm-hmm. But what? I was just thinking then, like, you know how when you see people, when they have a dog, like when you go to a dog park, that the dog is enamored with their owner and they stick by their side and they like love them. It's their person. Well, it's easy to think that a dolphin is intelligent enough that would have a person that it would attach to.
Yeah.
It's like, that's my person, that's my favourite sort of thing.
Also, that story, I guess, brings a bit of sadness as well because, like, it obviously was attracted to her because, as she said, she never rushed to it and she was gentle with it. What were the other bathers doing then to this poor wild animal?
A previous story about Jack, humans tried to harpoon Jack. One got drunk and shot them. So I could imagine they're probably trying to jump on top of it or grab it or even just walk up and pat it and stuff like that, which it probably didn't like.
And it's probably to the horror of any animal activists of nowadays that was happening.
Yeah, that's right. Just going up to a wild animal and just trying to touch it and ride it and stuff. Although that's pretty badass that shit, like...
It would be pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like that cartoon. What was that cartoon? Flipper?
Yes.
Yes, great cartoon.
During the summer, the word of Oppo spread through the country, bringing visitors from all across New Zealand. This meant one thing. Oppo and all the visitors had a lovely summer and no one was hurt and Oppo was very cared for.
I'm sensing by the tone of your voice and your face that that's not the case. Humans being humans, I guess.
Humans being humans. So Oppo would play with all the children and would even let small children ride her back. Not so great. But I guess this was the 50s and things were a bit more lax and fun.
That's what I was saying before.
Ways.
There was like not as great awareness, maybe at even how intelligent they were, even then.
So there is even a story of children playing with their ball in the water, and as they were in a circle throwing the ball to each other, who would jump into the game but the uninvited Oppo? She nosed the ball, moving it through the water and tossed it back up to the beach. Apparently she enjoyed playing with balls. She did like playing with balls, but she liked them for herself.
Oh, did you say she was trying to play with it, or she got rid of it? She got it out of the ocean. Is that what you're saying?
Bit of both.
Maybe she was like an
played
early
with
activist. She saw the writing on the wall. You're filling my ocean with plastic. Get this out.
Oh, gosh. Oppo would soon be given a ball of her own, and the onlookers taught her tricks with the ball, including rolling the ball down her back and flipping it with her tail.
Oh, cool.
And this is really cool. She would even work together with dogs on the beach to fetch their sticks.
That's crazy. That's like...
So they'd be thrown into the water and she'd like nose
So
it
it's
to
like
them.
interspecies, like, communication.
Yeah.
Like, it's smart enough to know, oh, it's a human. I can interact with that, but I can also interact with these land-dwelling hairy dolphins that run
These
on
land
legs.
seals.
Yeah.
I wonder how Gizmo would react to a dolphin on
He
the
would
beach.
bark at it. Well, he doesn't like the water. If there's a wave that's anything over like an inch or two, he's not going to go in, so I
Yeah.
don't think he'd like it.
So the local town received a boom in business and at times had nearly 2,000 people per day that would make the trek to see Oppo. So
Oh, by the way, Gizmo's our dog.
I said that.
Did you-
We've said that
In previous, yeah, but for anyone who hasn't heard, Gizmo's our dog. They were just like, do they have a dolphin? What the hell was going on?
So this caused a strain in the local town and the small roads into the town, especially the small gravel road with cars often lining the road for hundreds of meters. So now here is where the human nature takes over. Oppo loved playing with anything her humans gave her, including but not limited to beer bottles that drunkards would throw at her from the local pub.
What again? Humans?
can't have nice
Why?
things.
Why are humans like this? When you mentioned earlier that drunken man that shot Jack, the previous dolphin you were talking about, the first thing that came to my head when you said he was drunk, I was like, I bet you he got a beer bottle and tried to stick it in the dolphin's blowhole or something.
God.
And now it comes in the second story that people are throwing. I bet you that's what they were trying to do. They were like, I bet you I can land my stubby in the dolphin's blowhole.
Oh my God.
Humans suck.
They
When
do.
you hear stories like this, continue. Sorry.
So the amount of people that were getting in the water was getting overwhelming for Oppo. She would often have to swim away. However, some people were less than gentle and some even took a shot at her claiming that she was a shark.
What? So people shooting at her again?
Yeah, but who knows if they
Oh
really
my
thought
God.
she was a shark.
Again, they'll probably just like, if I shoot this dolphin, I'll be famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This prompted the local community to form the Opononi. I can't say that properly.
Sorry, what? Oppo Onini.
Opononi Gay Dolphin Protection Committee, who erected warnings in order to protect Oppo.
Nice. So at least there's some decent humans
I
out
love that
there.
1950s phrasing as well.
What was it?
Gay dolphin protection.
Or like Happy Dolphin or something
It's
like that.
gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, at least there's some nice people trying to protect the dolphins rather than throwing beer bottles at it
That's
or
right.
shooting it or harpooning it.
Oppo was also protected by law and the New Zealand government, and in March 1956 made it unlawful to take or molest any dolphin in the harbour.
Molest? What the hell?
I wonder what their definition of molest
What on earth is going on? Throwing bottles wasn't enough. Shooting wasn't enough. We've got to molest this dolphin.
I hope they mean
That is
molest
grim.
as in like when they were being too rough with patting her.
I'm
hopefully.
sure that's what they meant, but that is an aggressive word to use. That's grim.
This month is significant not only for that reason, unfortunately.
Oh no, what's going to happen?
Get ready. A day after Oppo was legally protected,
Of course.
Oppo's body was found jammed between several rocks only a few kilometres from the beach. Some... Sorry.
It's illegal to hurt this dolphin now. Kill it.
Some theories state that possibly Oppo got caught between the rocks when the tide went down.
Oh, yeah, that makes
However,
sense.
some darker theories state that Oppo may have been killed by fishermen using something called galignite, which is similar to explosive of dynamite.
Oh, so that's the stuff they drop in the water and it
Mm-hmm.
detonates at a lower level. Why?
And one last theory includes that Oppo may have committed suicide as a result of not having a mate.
Oh,
So
that's
sad.
that's super grim. Or maybe like Oppo was molested and just
Oh my
couldn't handle it.
gosh, Aaron.
Well, that's they put it in there in the rules, so someone was obviously doing dodgy stuff with dolphins. Either way, though, that is super sad.
These claims are not substantiated, and the true nature of her death is unknown. Whatever the reason, Oppo left a lasting impact on the community, even if it be a short time.
The moral of the story is it should be how intelligent and beautiful animals are and like
It should be.
our interaction with them. But instead it's how horrible humans can be to something that's so intelligent and, you know, only wants to enjoy being with us. That's horrible.
So
and sad. Way to bring me down. End the podcast now. I do not want to hear any more about humans.
There's more.
Oh, God.
Both of the dolphins that we have discussed today were solitary dolphins. We are not too sure why some dolphins are solitary.
I've got a feeling why I know that, because I want to stay the hell away from humans.
Some may have chosen this life themselves. Other reasons may be a separation from the group due to bad weather like OPO. And these solitary dolphins have allowed us insight into a species that can be at times quite distant from the eyes of humans. Whatever the reason, there are only 90 recorded instances of solitary dolphins in the world, and 19 of which are in New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I have a few more of interest if you'd like to hear about them.
You've got a few more there?
I've got a few more.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about them.
So some others. We have Moko. Moko mostly resides in Wakatane. He is most well known for an incident in 2008. Moko rescued 2 pygmy sperm whales who rescuers had failed to refloat. Moko apparently heard their distress calls and escorted them through the channel to safety. Moko is also known for being very playful, stealing toys, and even pushing kayaks.
So, again, that shows like a high level of intelligence because it's interspecies. If it was like another dolphin, you could understand that because they can understand each other. But it understood that sperm whales, which is a different species, was in distress and chose to help them. That shows
and to actually care.
Yeah, that shows like incredible intelligence. That's amazing.
Another one we have is Scar. Scar was most likely introduced to humans due to the free grub that he received from them. He is most well known for carrying a swimmer out to sea and is also has scars all over his body, so he's easy to spot.
He's like a protector.
He carried a swimmer out to sea.
To drown or?
Just for fun, I guess.
Oh my God.
It wasn't.
Payback.
It wasn't.
I killed Mufasa. He was inspired by the Lion King. Imagine that. Oh, this dolphin's giving me a ride. You can turn around now. You can.
too
you
far.
can. Dolphin, come back, please. And just swims off. That's scary.
So he had a fascination for boats, especially the sharp, spiky bits, the propellers.
Maybe that's where he got his scars.
Yep, and this eventually led to
Whoa.
Oh, Aaron.
Weird.
This is going to have to be a mature podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
This eventually led to his death when he was reversed over by a fishing boat.
Oh, why do they all die so tragically? Apart from Jack. He survived. He just passed away, they think. Well, we don't know how he died.
Now we have one last Jack and one last dolphin. This is called the Port Underwood Jack. So this Jack started hanging around the floating cages at a local salmon farm in the late 1980s and early 1990s.
For some food, maybe?
I guess so. He had an affinity for playing games, including playing a game where workers would throw him mussels and he would leap out to catch them. Just like the aforementioned Scar, he also had a fascination for boat propellers.
I wonder why that is. Maybe the noise they made on the motion.
I don't know, yeah, possibly with like the waves.
With Jack, yeah.
He only connected with one human who was a diver in the team of workers. Jack would imitate the diver's bubbles released and he would follow him around, nudging him with his flippers. Like, how clever.
So like booping him like a dog does to you when they boop your leg.
Yeah. And also when he would dive, he would also blow bubbles.
He's like, look, I'm a human too. Hey, he was mocking them. Oh my God. Another level of intelligence. He's mocking the humans.
He became quite a nuisance by diving down and lifting up the weights that anchored the cages.
That's awesome.
And he learned to entangle the weights in ropes and then would watch as the diver unraveled the mess.
So again, that shows another level of intelligence because it's like, it's bored. So it's like, I'm going to play tricks on these humans for entertainment.
Yep.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Maybe harpooning dolphins.
Was it?
Like
I'm
of course
episode
joking.
from The Simpsons. Like dolphins.
Oh yeah, where they rise up from the seas and they come.
Is this what's happening?
That's what I'm imagining. Well, it sounds like any and all actions that dolphins do towards humans that's negative is justified from what
Pretty
we've
much.
heard.
He once became entangled in a mooring chain and had to be saved as he was unable to surface to breathe. And it is believed that his eventual death was caused by an oil leak within the vicinity of the farm.
Humans.
Mm-hmm. And this takes us to the end of our podcast today.
Well, that was quite the ride. Going into this, I knew that dolphins were highly intelligent, but I didn't know they were as smart as what they were doing in these stories. And the main takeaway should have been that dolphins are highly intelligent and beautiful creatures and stuff. But what it's confirmed for me, which I already knew, it's unfortunate that humans are horrible creatures and we will kill, maim, destroy things for no reason other than just because.
Pretty much.
Which is a bit sad, but some amazing stories in there.
I do hope you've learnt a lesson and that you have a new appreciation for the aquatic life.
I do.
And that you've learnt that dolphins need to rise up and never interact with humans again.
There's rumours that The Simpsons predict a lot of things that have happened.
True.
And it's come true. Like one of them they predicted
Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's right. They may have predicted the dolphins rising up.
They may have.
Yeah.
Maybe these solitary dolphins are just dolphins that don't want to be part of the uprising.
Or maybe they're like messengers. They're warning us. They're like, hey, guys, you got to treat us nice or we're going to rise up and come from the seas and take you. Reminds me of that in that movie with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. What's it called? The Other Guys.
The Other Guys.
When he's talking about they build like a breathing apparatus out of kelp or something like that. We're going way off track here, but that's what I was thinking about just then. So, also, sorry, before you go on, it makes me think about other animals, like other species and human interactions with them and like, how they build a bond with humans. It's pretty cool.
It is cool.
That's it, yeah. That's all I'm going to say.
I thought you were going to say some more.
No, that's it.
So, if you have enjoyed this episode, or maybe it's made you have a bit of an existential?
Existential? Is that the word you're after?
Existential, thank you.
Why is it the one who's doing the script and reading
loses all ability
to pronounce words, and the one who's reacting is just like, oh, I can pronounce that word easy.
So if you have enjoyed this episode, please give us a like and a follow or platform equivalent. You can find us at all the good places to watch podcasts, including Podbean at hisandhershistory.podbean.com.
Great site.
If you have any suggestions or recommendations, please send us to hisandhershistory@gmail.com.
Will be perfect. We love any suggestions, Do you like us? Do you hate us? What would you like to hear more of, Am I awesome? Is Steph awesome?
Oh, wow. Why are you putting... This is not a competition.
I'm trying to get a confidence boost for myself. But yeah, would you like a clue for next week?
I would love a clue for next week.
So spoiler alert, we've already spoken about this because I've started writing my script, so I need to check with you. But I'm going to cover Caligula, I believe his name is pronounced, or Little Boot. He is a Roman emperor who is insane and did some crazy things. So I'm going to cover that. Do you know anything about him?
Look, I don't. This will have to be a mature podcast next week, correct?
Potentially, yeah.
I do know a little bit then.
A little bit about him, yeah. Anyway, all you need to know is he's insane and should not be doing any form of leading.
Can't wait to hear about it.
Very good.
All
See you next week.
Bye.
Catch ya.